Hello guys, welcome to episode 11 of the Virtual PPL series, and today we're going to take a look at short field takeoffs and soft field takeoffs. The first one we'll take a look at is the short field takeoff, and if you have a look at the airport, we don't have a lot of runway here. Perfectly doable in a Cessna 152, but it is shorter than a typical runway. So there is some differences, and that's our rotation speed. We're going to do at 55 knots, and we're going to climb at 55 knots initially for VX, and that's an obstacle clearance speed, and we'll extend the flaps by 2 stages for the short field takeoff. So to get started, we hold our feet on the brakes, make sure we've got 2 stages of flap selected and indicating, go full throttle, hold the brakes, wait for the RPM to build. Once it's built, we can let go. Plenty of right rudder to keep it central, and we're looking for 55 knots. There we go, we can rotate, and then we're going to climb at 55 knots initially, and that's just an obstacle clearance speed to avoid any trees or pylons, etc. Once we're at least 50 feet above the ground, drop the nose a little bit, gain a bit of speed, and as we do so, we can retract the stage of flaps. Let the speed build a bit more, and another stage of flaps. And then we can aim for 75 knots, which is our VY speed. And there we go, we're back into a normal climb after a short field takeoff. So for the soft field takeoff, it's a bit of a combination of both short field and soft field, as most soft field airports are quite short in runway length, as you can see here. We're going to do things quite similar to the short field takeoff, and that's 2 stages of flaps, except we're going to try and lift off as soon as we can. So we're going to rotate at the earliest possible speed, and we're going to do that by applying quite a bit of back pressure throughout the takeoff roll. That also takes any weight off the nose wheel and applies it to the wings and the rear wheels, and that stops any damage to your nose gear, basically. Once we've rotated, we're going to stay in ground effect for about 55 knots, which is VX, and it's obstacle clearance speed, as we don't want to hit the trees ahead. And then we can transition to our VY speed of 75 knots and continue with our flight. So the first thing we're going to do is extend our flaps 2 stages, apply the brakes with our feet, release the park and brake, full throttle, got full throttle, keep it centered on the runway, applying back pressure, and we're going to try and rotate at the earliest possible speed, and there we go. Aim 55 knots, stay in ground effect. We've got 55 knots. Now we can continue our obstacle clearance speed. We can retract the stage of flaps. And another stage, and we can transition to our VY speed of 75 knots and continue with our climb as we would normally. So that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it's been useful for you. If you did like it, please give it a like, and if you want to see more in the future, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.